Welcome back to the channel, guys. No, Ivory Tower Economics here, and today we're going to be talking about the gold-silver ratio. It's very interesting. I personally think that gold and silver and pretty much just um, heavy metals right now are the most interesting thing in the trading world. And yeah, so here looking at the gold-silver ratio. So essentially, it's gold measured in silver, and it's in a downtrend right now, obviously, because silver has had this crazy, crazy run and it's down to like about 50 ounces of silver will give you 1 ounce of gold. I need to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Excuse me. So as you can see, we're getting some divergences in the price versus the RSI. This previous low around, well, I guess this one right here, but it went a little bit lower than that. But anyways, this previous low created this low here in the RSI, which was at about 20 in the RSI, and now the most recent low around here, and I'm looking at it at a 24-hour chart or a daily chart. It's up at 28. So it's very likely in the next weeks or so that we're going to see a revert. Let me say this: probably not a reversal, not anytime yet, but maybe gold starts to gain versus silver a little bit in the next couple of a couple of weeks or so. It's not doesn't mean it's gonna happen right now. I think silver very likely can continue to go up some more. I really do think that before the end of this month, maybe early next month, silver will hit the $100 mark. And I think at that point, it's a kind of like a psychological barrier, and then you're gonna see a counter trend move or a pullback in silver, and then thus the gold is going to gain some over silver. What is also possible, I think gold can also go down, but it'll go down not as fast as silver, and thus this chart will start to reverse a little bit, right? That doesn't mean that it's not going to keep trending further down, because this is very clearly a downtrend. And I would say until gold doesn't get, or the gold silver ratio doesn't get above this 21, at least this 21 EMA, and ideally above this previous high of 59, almost 60 silver ounces to the gold. Really, like, any idea of a reversal isn't anywhere here, but or is not something to talk about right now. But I do think that it's going to start to stutter here, right? Especially because we have a bullish divergence now here in the RSI. So a counter trend move is gonna happen, in the next 2 weeks or so, possibly, maybe less. And but that doesn't mean that silver can't go up a little bit more in the short term. So we'll see what happens. But I think it's silver starting to top up, and I was saying that I was saying that earlier in some of my earlier videos, that silver will likely top in Q1, possibly Q2 of this year. And don't be surprised to have silver stay as high as it's been for a while, right? Like, it could stay up there, because historically speaking, when silver has had these runs, it stays up there for a long time before, pulling back. And, like, a pullback down, I mean, this is a 24 chart, 24 a daily chart. I like the weekly chart for silver, but, like a pullback somewhere around this region, it's very possible in the next year or two, right? And then base out here for a little while, and then continuing further into its bull run. Some would say that it's currently in a 10-year bull run, and it's about halfway through that bull run. That's what Ben Cowan, he has suggested in his videos. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. It's a valid argument if you look at silver historically. But only time will tell. I just really do think that from where it currently is, and especially how silver is this far away from the fast moving average, is red 5 moving average, red 5 exponential moving average. It's gonna want to reconnect with this before moving further up, or potentially moving down, right? So can it move up a couple of bucks up to $100? I think that's very possible, but I think it's really setting up for a counter trend move, especially because I think divergences are going to start to happen here. So there's definitely a divergence in brewing in the future here. In this, now we're looking at the silver chart. There's been obviously some divergence here and here with this previous high, right? So this high versus this high, and I'm looking at the RSI versus the price action of silver. So yeah, so I think a pullback in silver is very possible, right? That doesn't mean that it can't continue up in the next month or two, but I think all in all, like, we're really seeing the blow off top off of silver. And yeah, and actually I was going to talk about gold, but we'll talk about that on another video. And yeah, so if you're liking the content, like and subscribe, and leave a comment. If you disagree with what I'm saying, it's okay, you could disagree. These are just my ideas. They're not really based on what you should be doing. They're just things I'm looking at so I can get an idea of where the market is heading, where we're at, and what to expect in the future. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.